Good morning, I am the second reporter, so I will continue our report. So these images illustrate the concept of a work breakdown structure or WBS in project management, specifically focusing on its application in software development and website projects. A WBS is a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work to be carried out by a project team to accomplish project objectives and create the required deliverables. The second image displays a Gantt chart, a visual tool used for project scheduling. It shows a software development project broken down into various tasks and subtasks along with their timelines. This visually represents how WBS can be implemented in a project management software to track progress and dependencies. So, ano nga ba ang Gantt chart? Ang Gantt chart is a bar chart that illustrates a project schedule. Modern Gantt chart also show the dependencies, relationships between activities and current schedule status. So, ang Gantt chart daw ay isang uri ng chart o graph na ginagamit para makita at planuhin ang mga gawain sa task ng isang proyekto. The third image is similar to the previous figure. This shows a Gantt chart for a website project. The key difference is that the tasks are organized according to project management process groups, initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling closing, which provide a structured way to manage the project life cycle. It also explicitly shows the relationship between the WBS or the list of tasks and the schedule or the timeline for those tasks. Kung mapapansin natin na halos magkapareho lang ang figure 5-5 at 5-6, parehong naka-Gantt chart, pero itong figure 5-6 naka-organize based sa project management stages gaya ng mga sumusunod. Una is initiating. Ito ang pagsisimula ng proyekto. Pangalawa ay ang planning, paggawa ng plano. Pangatlo, executing, actual na paggawa. Pang-apat, monitoring and controlling, pagbabantay kung maayos ang takbo. Pang-lima is closing, pagkatapos at pag-turnover ng project. Karagdagang paliwanag ng pagkakaiba ng figure 5-5 at figure 5-6 ay ang figure 5-5 nakabase lang siya sa mga task at kanilang timeline. Sa figure 5-6 naman ay nakabase siya sa buong proseso ng project management life cycle. Table 5-4. This image displays a tabular representation of a work breakdown structure or WBS for a software product release 5.0. Pinapakita dito kung paano hinahati ang malalaking proyekto sa mga mas maliliit na gawain or hierarchical structure. Ano nga ba ang hierarchical structure? Ito ay isang paraan ng pag-aayos o pag-uorganisa ng impormasyon, gawain o tao sa hugis parang puno or tree o pyramid. For example, in real life, school structure, hierarchy ng tao. Nangunguna ang principal, sumusunod ang vice principal, third is teachers, and last students. So, the principal ang nasa taas dahil siya ang pinaka-leader. Sumunod ang vice principal dahil siya ang kanang kamay ng principal. Umaalalay kung may hindi kayang tutukan ang principal. Sumunod ay ang mga teacher. Sila ang gitnang level. Responsible sila sa pagtuturo ng mga estudyante at pagsunod sa mga plano at patakaran na galing sa principal. Students, sila ang nasa pinakailalim ng hierarchy, tumatanggap ng mga aral mula sa teachers at sumusunod sa mga rules ng school. Creating the work breakdown structure, 7 of 9. Approaches to developing work breakdown structures. First, using guidelines. Some organizations, like the U.S. Department of Defense or DoD, provide guidelines for preparing WBS. Second, analogy approach. Review WBS of similar project and tailor to your project. Third, top-down approach. Start with the largest items of the project and break them down. Fourth, bottom-up approach. Start with the specific task. And last, mind mapping uses branches radiating out from a core idea to structure thoughts and ideas. So, sa using guidelines, gumagamit ito ng standard o template na gawa na ng school or organization. Kung i-relate naman ito sa aming capstone project, which is VeriSign Signature Authentication using CNN model. Kung may format na ang department para sa security projects, pwede nyo nang gamitin. Halimbawa, template structure. First, project management. Second, data collection. Third, model training. Fourth, system development. Fifth, testing. And last, deployment. Sa analogy approach naman, dito naman ay gumagamit ng halimbawa mula sa katulad ng project tapos babaguhin. Kung i-relate ito sa aming capstone, base sa aking pagsisearch ay may similar ang aming capstone project. Ito ay ang Signet. Writer Independent Offline Signature and Verification. So, sa top-down approach, ito ay isang pamamaraan na nagsisimula sa kabuuan o pangkalahatang ideya bago pumunta sa maliit na bahagi o detalye. Ibig sabihin, inuuna ang malawak na plano o pangunahing layunin bago hatiin sa maliliit na gawain. For example, ang isang grupo ay magsisimula sa buong vision ng project at tinahati-hati ito hanggang sa maging maliliit na task. Iyan ang top-down approach. Sa bottom-up approach naman, ito ay isang paraan ng paggawa ng system na nagsisimula sa maliliit na bahagi at pagkatapos ay pinagsama-sama hanggang mabuo na sa madaling salita. Kung ang top-down approach is buo muna, tsaka hahati-hatiin sa maliliit. Ang bottom-up naman is maliliit muna, tsaka buuin hanggang maging buo na ito. Sa mind mapping naman ay paraang drawing ng iyong mga idea para mas madaling maintindihan at para hindi mo makalimutan. Ito ay ang halimbawa ng mind mapping na kung saan ang nasa gitna ang pinaka-main topic at ang tawag sa mga sanga ay ang subtopics. At kung mapapansin nyo, ang subtopic ay may mga sanga. Yan naman ang mas maliliit na details ng subtopics. Kung sa figure 5-7, which is mind mapping, ay nagpapakita ng hierarchy, gawain, which is kung ano ang uunahin at paano nahati ang project. Dito naman sa figure 5-8, which is Gantt chart, ay nagpapakita ng schedule at tagal ng bawat gawain para makita kung paano tatakbo ang proyekto sa oras. Advice for young professionals: it is very difficult to create a good WBS. Attend meetings in your organization where teams work together. Ask to see WBS for projects that have been completed or are in process. Conduct your own research to find examples of different WBS. Aminin natin, mahirap gumawa ng magandang WBS, kaya dapat sumali sa meetings para makita kung paano hinati-hati ng team ang proyekto. Pangalawa, humingi ng example ng WBS mula sa mga natapos o ongoing na project bilang guide. Pangatlo, mag-research ng iba't ibang WBS para may mas maraming idea at mapadali ang paggawa. The WBS Dictionary, 1 of 3. Many WBS tasks are vague. WBS Dictionary is a document that describes detailed information about each WBS item. Format of the WBS Dictionary can vary based on project's needs. Dito naman, minsan ang mga gawain sa WBS ay malabo o kulang sa detalye, kaya gumagamit ng WBS Dictionary. Ang WBS Dictionary ay isang document na nagbibigay ng mas malinaw at detalyadong paliwanag tungkol sa gawain at ang format nito ay pwedeng magbago depende sa pangangailangan ng proyekto. Ang image naman na ito ay isang sample ng WBS Dictionary entry kung saan makikita ang pangalan ng gawain, description at kung ano ang nauuna at kasunod nito. The WBS Dictionary, 3 of 3. Advice for creating a WBS and WBS Dictionary. Unit of work should appear at only one place in the WBS. Work content of a WBS item is the sum of the WBS items below it. WBS item is the responsibility of only one individual. even though many people may be working on it. WBS must be consistent with the way in which work is actually ongoing to be performed. It should serve the project team first and other purposes only if practical. Project team members should be involved in developing the WBS to ensure the consistency and buy-in. Each WBS item must be documented in a WBS dictionary to ensure accurate understanding of the scope of work included and not included. WBS must be a flexible tool to accommodate and inevitable changes while properly maintaining control of the work content in a project according to the scope statement. So, dito naman ay ang WBS Dictionary ay parang detalyadong guide sa bawat gawain sa proyekto. For example, ano ang gagawin, sino ang gagawa, at ano ang mauuna o kasunod. Para maging effective, dapat malinaw at hindi pa ulit-ulit, may tamang responsible ginagawa kasama ng team. May detalyadong document at flexible pero kontrolado. Validating scope. It is difficult to create a good project scope statement in WPS for a project. Even more difficult, especially on IT projects, to verify the project scope and minimize scope changes. Even when the project scope is fairly well defined, many IT projects suffer from scope creep. Tendency for project scope to keep getting bigger and bigger. Scope validation involves formal acceptance of the completed project's deliverables. Acceptance is often achieved by a customer inspection and then sign off on key deliverables. So, it means ang validating scope ay isang proseso ng pagsiguro na ang proyekto ay tumutugma sa napagkasundo ang plano, iwas sa dagdag na gawain or scope creep, at may formal na pag-aproba mula sa customer sa mga natapos na deliverables. Global issues. Many countries have had difficulties controlling the scope of large projects, especially those that involve advanced technologies and many different users. So, ang global issues sa project management ay ang kahirapan ng mga bansa sa pagkontrol ng scope ng malalaking proyekto, lalo na kung ito ay gumagamit ng new technology at maraming tao ang maapektuhan. Ano nga ba ang scope? Ito ay tumutukoy sa kabuuang gawain at saklaw ng isang proyekto. Kapag naman malaki ang proyekto, mas madali itong lumampas sa plano. Scope creep kung tatawagin, at ito ay mahirap bantayan. Controlling scope 1 of 3. Scope control involves controlling changes to the project scope, keeping project goals and business strategy in mind. Goals of scope control influence the factors that cause scope changes. Ensure changes are processed according to procedures developed as part of integrated change control. Manage changes when they occur. Variance is the difference between planned and actual performance. Ano nga ba ang controlling scope? Ito ay ang pamamahala at pagkontrol sa mga pagbabago sa project scope. Ang scope control naman, ito ay para matiyak na hindi basta-basta lumalaki ang project at nasusunod ang plano. Sa goals of scope control naman, mayroong influence factor, which is bawasan o pigilan ang mga dahilan ng pagbabago. Second, ensure proper change process. Kapag may pagbabago, dapat dumaan ito sa tamang proseso, change control. Third is manage changes. Kapag may nagbago talaga, siguraduhin na maayos itong na-handle. Last, variance. Ang variance ay ang pagkakaiba ng mga plano at actual na performance. Sa simpleng paliwanag, para hindi lumaki o mag-iba ang project kung walang malinaw na dahilan. Controlling scope 2 of 3. User involvement is making sure the voices of people are heard and they are able to actively shape and improve the services they use and influence local and national policy. People who use services are experts on how they should be developed and delivered. Suggestions for improving user input. Develop a good project selection process and insist that sponsors are from the user organizations. Place users on the project team. Conduct regular meetings with defined agendas. Deliver something to users and sponsors on a regular basis. Do not promise to deliver what the team cannot deliver in a particular time frame. Locate users with the developers. Dito naman sa user involvement, mahalaga na marinig at maisama ang opinyon ng mga gagamit ng system kasi sila ang totoong makikinabang. Paraan para mapaganda ang user input. First, good project selection. Siguraduhin na tama at kapaki-pakinabang ang project. Second, place users on a team. Isama ang mga gagamit mismo sa project team. Regular meetings. Magkaroon ng malinaw na meeting at updates. Fourth, deliver something regularly. Magpakita ng progress para makita agad ng users. Fifth, do not overpromise. Huwag mangako ng sobra, lalo na kung hindi kayang matapos on time. And last, locate users with developers. Kung pwede, lapitan o pagsamahin ang users at developers para madaling magkaintindihan. Controlling scope 3 of 3. Suggestion for reducing incomplete and changing requirements. Develop and follow a requirements management process. Employ techniques such as prototyping, using case modeling, and JED to get more users' involvement. Put requirements in writing and keep them current. Create a requirements management database for documenting and controlling requirements. Provide adequate testing and conduct it throughout the project life cycle. Review changes from a system perspective. Emphasize completion dates to help focus on what's most important. Allocate resources specifically for handling change requests. So, dito naman sa reducing incomplete and changing requirements, para hindi nagbabago-bago ang requirements o kulang-kulang, gawin ang mga ito. First, requirements management process. Gumawa ng malinaw na proseso sa pagkuha at pag-manage ng requirements. Pangalawa, use techniques. Gamitin ang prototyping, use cases, modeling, JED sessions para mas malinaw ang requirements. Third, IT requirements. Isulat at panatilihing malinaw at updated. Fourth, requirements management database. Gumamit ang system para sa requirements. Fifth, completion dates. Bigyan pansin ang deadlines para hindi mawala ang focus. Last, allocate resources. Maglaan ng oras at tao para sa pagbabago. Sa simpleng paliwanag, gumawa ng malinaw na sistema para hindi nagbabago-bago o nagiging magulo ang requirements. Chapter Summary. Project Scope Management includes the processes required to ensure that the project addresses all the work required and only the work required to complete the project successfully. Main processes: define scope management, collect requirements, define scope, create WBS, validate scope, control scope. Sa project scope management, lahat ng proseso para matiyak na magawa ang lahat ng kailangan at hindi sobra at hindi kulang. Ang main process, first is to define scope management. Tukuyin kung paano i-manage ang scope. Second, collect requirements. Kumuha ng malinaw at tamang requirements. Third, define scope. Ilarawan kung ano mismo ang sakop ng project. Fourth, create WBS. Hatiin sa maliliit na gawain ang buong project. Fifth, validate scope. I-check at ipakita sa client para ma-approve. 6. Control scope. Bantayan ang pagbabago at siguraduhin na hindi lumampas sa plano. At kung i-apply naman ito namin sa aming capstone project, first is define scope management. Tukuyin na ang project ay tungkol lang sa signature authentication using CNN model. Second, collect requirements. Humingi ng requirements sa users. Halimbawa, dapat mabilis ang authentication, dapat may login. Third, define scope. Limitahan sa signature scanning at CNN-based authentication, wala nang dagdag na biometric. Fourth, create WBS. Hatiin sa task, data collection, model training, system integration, testing, documentation. Next, validate scope. Ipa-approve sa advisor at users kung sakto ba ang features na ginawa. And last, control scope. Bantayan na hindi lumampas ang project sa napagkasundo ang features.